So, Asama, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for joining our session. Before we start, a short notification to our audience that unfortunately today you won't uh, receive any silly jokes in our webinar because we are addressing a really serious topic in one of the most competitive markets, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And our speaker for today is Asama Aldamiri, Digital Transformation Manager at Al Majdoui Motors, with over 20 years of experience in ERP, RPA, and financial technology innovation. Asama, thanks a lot for joining our discussion today. It's my pleasure to welcome you.
Thanks a lot, Renata. Actually, the pleasure is mine, and really appreciated this opportunity.
Thanks a lot. So, as you could see, our social media warm up campaign has shown really strong interest in the Middle East around our webinar topic.
Okay.
And today, digital finance really stands alongside artificial intelligence and popularity because really it's seen as a symbol of smart, inclusive finance. And what I see is that it's increasingly accessible. I mean, digital finance, regardless of social status, financial behavior, or profession, thanks to ongoing digital transformation. So basically, you can see it at home, right? Regardless of your job title, you can take your smartphone and you can open your financial applications, super apps, or banking application, right? Wherever open website of your financial provider and receive the services you are willing to, and everything that really happens thanks to this digital transformation which is going on globally right now, not only in the Middle East market. When we're talking about Saudi Arabia, even national strategies like Vision 2030, launched by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, actively support the growth of digital financial services as
Yes.
part of a broad economic and social reform. And maybe you've heard, I'm sure you did, investments over 20 billion United States dollars in data and AI, and training more than 20,000 AI and data experts confirm that fact. And those facts are about the kingdom.
Yes.
Asama, in your opinion, how has Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 concretely influenced the pace and the scope of digital transformation within the finance sector?
Okay. Actually, it's true, Renata. When we talking about accelerating work, and there's a lot of operation and transaction different in a different business domains, and with a high competency armed with the technology, no way to be the digital finance out of that, especially when we are talking about the number of the population who are adopting the mobile technology, as well as who is chasing for the e-commerce. All of these factors required us to be digitalized in terms of how we can providing the services in finance. For that, it was necessary and important in this country to derive the economic growth and to enhance the efficiency for the financial transaction. All these aspects comes under the vision of 2030. Vision of 2030, it's toward, in terms of, we are talking about the financial sectors, it's toward the reshaping banking, fintech solution, and how we can foster the public-private partnership. Okay, so all these factors, again, it is leveraging the innovation, encouraging investment, and focusing the financial inclusion. So the countries such as KSA, which is looking to be as a hub, and it will be a contrast for this Middle East, they are looking to facilitate these type of services. Okay, so when we talk about, again, the vision 2030, it should implemented in all aspect of how to encourage the investors to come here and how I can support their needs through innovation in fintech and emerging technology, how to be adopted.
Thank you a lot, Asama, for sharing your vision. I see, and I'm sure that our listeners they also hear that your efforts clearly align with the national strategy. When we're talking about supporting such goals, supporting the goals of the national strategies, this is the one thing. But implementing the needed systems, technologies, and processes in order to go align with the strategies requires an extra level of commitment, especially when pioneering new products or technologies. And this is particularly true, especially when you are leading in the motor vehicle manufacturing sector as part of a larger holding group. Asama, without revealing internal secrets, what are the biggest regulatory or cultural challenges you've seen while implementing Vision 2030 initiatives related to digital finance in your company or maybe at your former employers?
Okay, so if we are talking about the challenges, there is I can address many of challenges, but as much as you can to step over these challenges, you will for sure you will achieve and you will success and you will feel the game. Okay, when we are talking about challenges, let's talk about the strategic challenges. Strategic challenges here we are in terms of doing or in terms of the country. Sometimes the banks or the financial institutions or the companies they are trying to difficulty figure out which industries they are can invest and to adopt the bank services, so it will be kind of relationship between the bank and the non-bank solutions and to provide these services for the customers.
Mm-hmm,
Other challenges, I believe most of us is still touching this, which is the regulatory and the compliance.
mm-hmm,
Still some ambiguity in this regulatory, and there is interpretation for this regulatory. So everybody has to understand this regulatory, so they will be fulfilled with this type of things.
mm-hmm,
Who is regulating this? For sure, since we are talking about financial domains, we are talking about SAMA. SAMA is the big umbrella who are ensure that these regulations are implied. Okay, especially when you are talking about the regulatory, we are talking about how you know your customer, KYC. When we
mm-hmm.
are talking
Yeah.
about the anti-money laundering, so as well as one more factor it has to be focused in, which is the data sharing, because by
Mm-hmm,
the end you have a customers data sharing. It's a most vital point we have to focus on. So these regulations and compliances, it will be guaranteed by the SAMA, and it's should be applied, okay,
mm-hmm,
and should be well understood, so it will not be kind of challenge. Let's talk one or another factor of the challenges, the technology and the
mm-hmm.
infrastructures.
Yeah.
Right now, most of the companies, and if we are talking about banks, let's talk about the banks, they are having kind of outdated systems. So all of us, in terms of companies, banks, private sectors, public sectors, all of us, we are investing in this part in terms of how we can modernize our technology and how we can secure fund for that, especially when we are talking about how to facilitate the services through the financials for the people, which it will require a huge invest in technologies, which is it will raise the cost. But by the end, it will be facilitating the ultimate goal, which is how to serve the individuals. So this was one of the part of the challenges. Let's talk about the culture
Mm-hmm,
and culture. Culture. Sometimes you will find people still not they are able to adapt that we are in a different stage of how we are dealing with the financial aspects. So sometimes the mindset of taking people from the traditional banking to open bank, digital banks, it's still kind of challenges for the people who is trying, or let's say the firms or companies who is trying to reach for these normal people. So the thing here, I believe it's a kind of partnership between banks who can facilitate the working in the financial matters, as well as who can utilize these in terms of adapted and embedded these services within the service that they are provided for the file for the last end usage, which is by the customer.
Mhm.
I believe banks, they are still they are taking this seriously, and they are begin in this approach, and we will inshallah see the real changes in the market in in the near future.
Thanks a lot, Asama, for your vision. It's really priceless because it's based on real experience. And what's important for our audience is the fact that you really work in the industry and you are engaged into a lot of initiatives connected with digital finance, right? Restructuring, transformation, and checking a lot in respect to these new technologies that should be implemented, right, to improve the infrastructures.
Right.
Maybe you've heard, for sure, banking and finance are both different sectors. However, they have something in common because at least banking includes something about finance, right?
Hmm.
At least money. So perhaps you've heard about Emirates and BD. This is the brand from the United Arab Emirates, and they spent many millions. If I'm not mistaken, if I recall it correctly, over 200 million US dollars between 2018 and 2020 just to deploy their core banking across its global operations, to update it and to deploy it. And as far as I heard, that they had really high cost, lengthy timelines, and I bet they also faced operational hiccups when modernizing their core, right? And this is about how the processes are going smooth or not smooth right inside the bank. And imagine what's going on in this process and during this time with their customers on their other corner. And
Exactly.
it really kind of reminds me of that Saudi's lender I spoke to 3 weeks ago. They serve small medium enterprises, and their chief executive officer told me that trying to update legacy systems to meet regulations is like giving a camel a software upgrade. It
صح.
technically works, but nobody's sure how to reboot it.
صح.
So it's really a challenge. So having the expertise, the right people around you, having this intention to work hard to implement what's really needed for your company in accordance with regulations, everything really matters. Asama, from your experience, what are the primary challenges, let's say, of Middle Eastern financial institutions, right, who are moving away from these legacy systems to smart technologies? Because knowing new tech is one thing. However, knowing what challenges may raise within this implementation is another one. A point is another point that should be always remembered. And if you can share your experience, it would be really appreciated by our listeners.
Okay, again, Renata, if I get the question well, the most from my aspect, the challenges, it was the technology, how to adopt the technology, how to provide this technology for your customers, how to still in the momentum of attracting and keep taking whatever it's facilitate the work for the end customer. It will solve a lot for from your side as well. You will for sure you will gain the trust for the people in terms of the end users, or let's say for your customers, in terms of your customers mainly. Why? Because whenever you are upgrading your system, and you will try to shift it from the legacy system to the modernized one, for sure you are in this stage, you are optimizing your process, you are the efficiency you will gain it, so you will serve in a quick manner. Okay, and will be more agile in your way for how to fulfill their needs, as well as how you can attract more customer for yourself. Okay, these let's say kind of barrier, if you just step over it, it will be easy for us. Again, the infrastructure and the technology, it's one of the most challenges for all of us, especially when we are talking about, also there is kind of regulation for that. Maybe you will find a solution, it will help you, but for some regulation, this solution it might be hosted outside, especially in Saudi Arabia. We have
Yeah.
a firm regulation that anything it should be stay and to be stored inside Saudi Arabia, and it has to be hosted here in a data center. So these type of challenges, I believe, it's play a big part here.
Thanks. I'm sure our listeners will appreciate these recommendations. Uh, and what I see is that, especially when we're talking about the experience of our communication with our former speakers and our fintech webinar that happened a couple of weeks ago, we explored inclusive finance. And not only in terms of omnichannel delivery, right, but also in ensuring access for all customer segments, like banked, underserved, and unbanked clients. So when we're talking about upgrading the systems inside the financial institutions, it's not only giving better, like kind of a better solution to the organization itself, but also it's about giving another level of experience to your customers. And
Mhm.
sometimes, and in most cases, especially in the Middle East market, it's also about covering more customers segments. So, Asama, maybe you have something to share with our audience. How critical is an omnichannel approach in reaching traditionally underserved or underbanked populations in Saudi's market? And maybe you heard something about the experience of the wider MENA region. When I'm talking about omnichannel, and we're talking about simple things, kind of implementing infrastructures when your customers can outreach you via your website, then can go to your mobile application, right, and maybe get services from there, maybe then go to any other platforms you're providing them with, right? So it's about this omni-channeling and interaction with your financial provider through different um, applications, interfaces that allows to get this service from your provider.
Okay. Once we are talking about an omni channel, yes, it's great to have this type of channels where your customer will not face any kind of difficulty to reach out for you. Let's talk
Yeah.
about how I can implement my website, how I can implement my mobile app, how I can embed the chat within this application, as well as how I can give kind of trust for my customers whenever they are doing kind of deals, how they will reach for the smart contracts between me and them, so their data it will not be shared out. Their data can be a process in a secure way, as well as the agility. Whenever I'm providing this omni channels for my customers, they will for sure, once they are testing this type of agility, they will share their experience, and I will gain the experience, the customer satisfaction in this way. Let's say you are trying to purchase some goods or product from our site, so you are not need to come for my site or my branches. So everything it can be reached through this omni channel. You can just log into your mobile. I'm facilitating for you the offers. I'm facilitating for you the way of gaining your information, and the trust point where I'm linking my systems to NAFAD. NAFAD is nothing but it's a national digital identity platform that provides a secure and unified way for individual to access government and private online. This is how they are definition. They are put it in NAFAD itself, so it's kind of secure for the customer, reaching out to the how I'm facilitating for them to do their payments, how I'm facilitating to them to sign their contracts. So omnichannel, it's a must for us. Later on, it will be as a way how I can communicate with my customer. So again, I'm facilitating the services, so I'm gaining my customer satisfaction.
I fully agree with you. So it seems and it looks like omnichanneling really allows to grow to grow customer satisfaction, right? To build this trust, to allow them get faster services because nobody will wait for a slow up to recover. Your customers just switch to a competitor in seconds. Especially, we should always remember there are over 30 SAMA licensed banks in Saudi Arabia and even more non-banking lenders. So imagine, yep.
Imagine.
So and the market demands fast, transparent, and customer-centric services. And I've heard a lot about new tech, about the necessity of integration of identification systems for smooth client servicing, right? About integration of anti-money laundering services, KYC services, and KYB services to help clients to get verified and to help banks or non-banking lenders or financial providers to deliver fast decision making and underwriting process towards their potential customers or existing clients and their new requests. And maybe you've heard this, a lot of companies globally and especially in Middle East, they utilize different technologies to upgrade their way of client servicing or data protection. For instance, SAP adopted hybrid cloud platform for data storage scalability, or a Rep National Bank utilizes API-driven architecture to improve ERP performance. Bank Albidal, it's another great experience. Now allows online account opening and expands into open banking and banking as a service platform
Fast.
access. Yeah, BAS. You're absolutely correct. And more examples we can discuss within the session. Not that important. What's important that earlier in the webinar we touched on the rising influence of both digital finance, digital transformation that comes along with digital finance, and the AI, which is kind of a brand already now. So everything that goes along and together with AI really becomes a brand. Asama,
Fast.
without naming the brands, right? Without naming particular companies, in your view, maybe also from your experience, maybe you used something interesting and efficient. Which AI applications are currently delivering the most measurable value in the finance sector, especially within the Middle East context? Or maybe you can also provide some examples of how AI can benefit digital transformation.
When we talk about the AI, there is a lot of applications that adapting the AI technology. One of the technology, we will not mention any companies, but let's talk about the technology by itself.
Yeah.
Okay, when we talk about the RBA, it's one of the yeah. From my side, I got fascinated about the RBA. Why? Because it's really help us in terms of supporting to do the daily processes. So whenever you are adopting this type of technology, you will again reach to the stage of how to agile your fulfillment for any request, as well as increasing your proficiency. Okay, so it's a
Yeah.
type of a great helper for you. Talk about the AI also in the let's say about the data intelligence systems, where you can utilize your AI, these systems, which is embedded the AI technology within that products. So it will help you to do the analysis based on the collected data, and it will do for you the required forecasting, for example, as well. It will give you the way how to predict the your customer, let's say your customers thinking. So based on that, you will focus more in how the way you are providing your service, or you are providing your product for the customers. as well as if we are talking from financial institution. In AI, it will help you during the anti-money laundering because it will go through all type of a transaction and it will investigate in this transaction, and for sure it will give you kind of alert and alarming that there is kind of mis suspicious, let's say, transaction. So AI, actually, it's a good technology. It can be adapted, and it has to be adapted. Not can be. It has to be adapted. It's a must because it's facilitated the way of your work, and it's really supportive for your side.
I fully agree with you, especially it's valuable when you're talking about the application cases of AI, right? Kind of using it in clients verification, right? Or decision making. So, indeed, there are a lot
Yes,
of
generally.
application ways for AI, and AI really brings clear value to finance. So, however, at this point, we should also remember that besides benefits, AI also has some limitations, right, that we should always remember about. And it's crucial to approach AI responsibly and ensure its use remains compliant, especially when it comes to data storage, data protection, because there is data behind any AI. Asama, maybe you can share your vision. How do you ensure that AI driven decision making aligns with ethical standards and regulatory requirements in your market in Saudi, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Okay. AI, again, it's a type of technology that it will facilitate your work, as well it will help you for decision making. But for sure, sometimes you need to keep your eyes as a glance on this solutions, because sometimes their kind of a transaction it will be crucial, so it cannot be totally relies on this AI. For example, if we are talking about, let's say, physical documents, scanning documents, where the AI need to go through these documents, which is called the OCR, technology, and scanning and take a decision based in a physical document. So if you will keep the whole reliance on these AIs or the solution, it might take you for a wrong decision or wrong result, which might cause some serious problem for you. So my point here, yes, you have to work on this technology, but keep your eyes on it. You cannot totally rely on it.
Absolutely agree with you. And moreover, what's important is always kind of keeping in mind the fact that when you are applying AI technologies, right, you are utilizing it not only for your business but also in order to serve your clients. And
Right.
responsible implementation should be on the top of this implementation. It's great. It's great that we have this discussion today because I bet that among our attendees and listeners, there are not only people from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but also there will be a lot of people from the other markets of the Middle East region. And one advantage of today's digital world is that companies can really save time and resources by learning from the experience of both partners and competitors around the globe. So when we are talking about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sama, when we're talking about the market, conversely, what unique approaches or success stories from Saudi Arabia's digital transformation could benefit other countries in the MENA region? So, what are recommendations? What experience might be really applicable to the other markets in the Middle East region?
Actually, in Saudi Arabia, one of the, let's say, I can call it as a success. Uh, when we talk about the payments, okay, or
Yeah.
the digital wallets, or let's talk about the whole financial interaction between you and let's say the financial institution. Here in Saudi Arabia, they really invest in this way in terms of how they built for them the infrastructure. They put the regulations for how to have a sandbox environment, and
Yeah.
how they are supporting the startup for fintech startup. So this type of innovation, you will, as you just mentioned, how many banks do we have? How many fintech companies do we have right now here in Saudi Arabia? And we still having more. There's a kind of approach to reach for a country with a cashless people. So you will see how it's facilitated here. So I have been here in Saudi Arabia for more than 20 years. I can compare how we were in that time and how we are now. And honestly, it's accelerating the way how we are grabbing these new ways. And not only we are grabbing it from outside, we are inventing here also from our side. And you will see a lot of ideas. It comes to the market, which is facilitate the way of the daily daily routine work, daily life for you. Let's call it like this. They are facilitating our life. So all this type of adoption and understanding well for what is meaning for digital transformation, regardless finance or other sector other than the finance, it will be by the end a helpful environment and ecosystem for the country.
Thanks, Asama. So I see, and I'm sure our listeners are also envisioning a lot of benefits through this digital transformation that's happening right now. And experiences you've mentioned are important to learn from and important to get them included into the roadmaps of digital transformation for other countries and the Middle East market, and maybe not only there. We've covered a lot on finance, a lot on digital transformation, and even AI and new tech so far. Looking ahead, Asama, what emerging technologies or trends do you foresee having the biggest impact on digital finance in the Middle East over the next 5 years? What's your
Digital,
vision for this?
digital
What
banking,
technologies? Okay.
digital bankings, payments, mainly payments. All it's about the payments, how we can how we can facilitate this. It will be more enough for the people. Let's again type of examples that can be addressed here. For example, how you can see the payment gateway, how you can see BNPL solutions, and these type of services, or let's say technology, or what we can say it's a financial instrument that's given for the customers. It will support them, and it will really touch their needs. It will eager them to how to utilize it. Saudi markets, we are mostly like to have the way in an easy, smooth, trusted way. So I believe digital wallet, digital banks, payment, it's one of the more factor. It's will be emerge more and more in the future.
So then let's see what awaits around the corner, right? Maybe we will see even more than mentioned, even more than just payments and digital banking, right? Let's see. Nobody
Let's
knows. So
Nobody
that
knows.
yep.
And I let me add this. Nobody knows about this, but let's rely on the data analysis, and we will see.
Yeah. Wise data analysis, data driven and data centric analysis. Asama, as you wrap up today's webinar, I want to thank you for sharing your valuable insights. The more I speak with professionals across the Middle East, the clearer it becomes that behind every successful business, no matter how advanced the AI or new tech, are the people. Building a strong team of skilled experts is key to long-term growth. So, with that in mind, Asama, how important is talent development and skills training for sustaining digital transformation in the financial sector across Middle East?
Okay. Uh, when we talk about the digital transformation, again, whether we are talking about the finance or we are talking about another sectors, the digital transformation, it's all around the five aspects. So we have to look again for our organization, how we can redesign our organization in terms of how to fulfill your customer, as well how to operate your work. Once we are reshaping our or redesigning our organization, we should look about our processes. Okay, so in this way we are trying to find where is the nickel bot and where is the way where I can invest in terms of optimizing my processes. By this, I'm again increasing the efficiency of my work. Then I can grab and capture the technology which will facilitate my work in the way of the organization. So it's not all about the technology as much as I need to redesign my organization, revisit my process, adapt the technology. By then, who will do all these things and who will work on this? My team. So I need to invest also in the skills and competency for my team, where they have to understand where we are going for, how to use this technology, how to go through this process and work in a easy way and in agile way. So based on all these aspects will lead you for sure for a success journey in the digital transformation without neglecting the monitoring and revisiting all your work, because we are in evolving era, we can say.
I fully agree. Really, the business and the finance industry, those both are growing fast, and we should go align with their trends, with their demand, and with the fact that until AI not
We will start.
fully covers, say so, fully covers the every aspect of our life. So once we still have people around us, we should always remember about people, about their self development, right, and help them to develop their skills. And a very good formula for this is knowing something, getting some knowledge, applying this knowledge in order to receive this long-term skills for their further application to boost the businesses you're working for. Thanks, Asama, for this valuable answer, for your participation in our today's webinar. To our audience, that's all for now. Like, subscribe, leave your comments, and we are on our way to prepare more insightful conversations for you. See you next time, and bye.
Thanks a lot, Renata. Thanks for the time and for the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.